Cyber attack gone awry. Remember the WannaCry ransomware cyber attacks that hit back in 2017? Turns out those hackers used tools that were lifted from the NSA by the Chinese when the NSA was trying to attack Chinese systems. This emerging from a new Symantec report who says Chinese intelligence agents captured the tools and made tweaks to them before passing the technology along. Joining us now to discuss, investigative journalist Ben Swann. All right, Ben, I cannot help but to laugh a little bit about this. So here's the NSA trying to hack the Chinese, but instead they get intercepted and hacked themselves. I mean, how does something like that happen?
Well, I think it happens because it goes back to this very basic idea, which doesn't ever seem to get through to politicians and to those working in the NSA, which is that you cannot create a technology, use it against other nation states, and expect that no one else is going to capture traces of it, recreate it, and use it against you. Because time and time and time again, Manila, we're seeing this happen. So in this particular case, you have Chinese contractors who reportedly, and we're not exactly sure how they did it, but reportedly were able to find traces that were left behind of archives from an attack that the NSA conducted against the Chinese. They were able to repiece, put together this same hacking technology, and then have used it against the United States. But it's not the first time this has happened, by the way. You know, if you go all the way back, remember a few years ago when the NSA at that time used hacking to be able to affect Iran's nuclear centrifuges. Well, that same technology was later taken by hackers, was repackaged, and it was used against U.S. companies like Chevron. So it happens. It's happened in the past, and it continues to happen.
Now, Ben, right now they are pointing the finger at Buckeye Group, shadow brokers. Who are these people? Why do the NSA consider them to be what they say the most dangerous of hackers?
Yeah, well, there's a couple of things here. First of all, the particular Buckeye group. So it's interesting that Buckeye is the term, I guess, that Symantec gives to this particular group of Chinese contractors. They're not officially with the Chinese government, but they're Chinese contractors, and they refer to them as Buckeye because apparently Symantec uses nicknames for everyone when they devise these reports. Buckeye is not their name. But essentially, they're saying this. They say this group is responsible for numerous attacks on some of the most sensitive defense targets in the United States, including space, satellite, and nuclear propulsion technology makers. So what they're saying is this group really goes after big targets, specifically defense and war targets, because obviously the word defense gets misused, but war targets in the United States, and it's attacked those very successfully in the past.
Okay, so it's nothing the average person should be too worried about when they read these names, Buckeye Group or shadow brokers. So just so the viewers understand here, Ben, the original technology and methods developed by the NSA to attack or at least attempt to hack China were paid for by American tax dollars, right? I mean, that's lots of money here. How did China manage to get one step ahead of the U.S. on this?
So again, it goes back to this idea that the NSA is creating and really leading the way in many ways in creating technology used for hacking purposes, specifically against nation states. But that technology, as we mentioned, leaves behind traces and bits and archives that are then picked up and used. And so I want to read to you how Symantec puts it. They say that Buckeye may have engineered its own version of the tools from artifacts found in captured network traffic, possibly observing an equation group attack. That's their term for NSA, an NSA attack. NSA attacks, they leave behind little bits of artifacts, and then hackers are able to recreate that. But I want to touch on one other very important thing. You mentioned, the average person doesn't need to worry, but the average person should worry, and here's why. So if you go to the Symantec threat assessment, at the very end of it, Symantec is selling basically tools to be able to monitor that kind of malware and attack on your own personal computer. Why? Because once the NSA creates it, yes, other nation states and contractors can also use it to attack the U.S. government, but individual hackers are also accessing this information. And they're using these same tools devised by the NSA to launch attacks against other individuals as well, and for your banking information, your cell phone information. And so they are actually using it in that way as well. So it is a further down the road process for the individual, American to be attacked, but it does happen because that technology is out, like Pandora's box. Once it's out, you can't put it back in again.
Yeah, it just goes to show the extent of this technology and how strong and powerful it could be if it's used against the average person like you and me. So, I mean, not much to do against that. All right, Ben Swann, as
NSA.
always. Thank you, NSA, and thank you, Ben Swann.
Right. Manila, thanks.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.